right. Let's let the old music go. Okay. Should be 4 o'clock. Let me get Mr. Chat up here. Hello, everybody. Give me a second. Pull up the chat. Okay, good. Good. Let me pull this over. And 2 minutes away. 2 seconds away almost. There we go. There we go. Okay. Still 4 o'clock. check. Okay. Alrighty then. Hello. Congratulations to everyone who voted. Let's say I am the blue side of things yesterday. Welcome to Sunlight on Chaos. Hey, there it is. I came up with this title a while ago now. There's a little chaos there. Woo! See, let the little sun come down in the darkness. See the government here? And the little sunlight comes down and the whole thing. Okay, little sunlight. So obviously I could go on about that for a long time today, but I won't, because you're probably already getting all kinds of scads of information, from everywhere else. I'm going to go through a few other things, but we'll give Mamdani a moment here. God bless also to Abigail Spanberger and to Mikey Sherrill and Prop 50. Yeah, let's get level playing field in order for 26. Now we are leveling out the playing field. Enough of Texas's redistricting malevolence garbage. So, yes, you all know what happened by now, I'm sure, last night. So quite the wave, quite the blue wave. And let's go to a little clippage of Mr. Mamdani. Not too long, just a little snip, because I think he addresses some transition discussion stuff here. Okay, bear with me. Here we go. And have to go to get this commercial out of the way.
The skyscraper.
Okay.
My message to ICE agents and to everyone across this city is that everyone will be held to the same standard of the law. If you violate the law, you must be held accountable. And there is sadly a sense that is growing across this country that certain people are allowed to violate that law, whether they be the president or whether they be the agents themselves. And what New Yorkers are looking for is an era of consistency, an era of clarity, an era of conviction. And that is what we will deliver to them.
Okay, so got the idea. So, there's a lot of things to think about. It's a big city, all right? Obviously, monster city. I don't know if Tokyo has like 20 million or Mexico City might have close to 20 million, right? Anyway, we know the powerhouse New York is. I grew up there. I was there for 9/11. And God bless everyone who did not survive. I made it out on that day. So go New York. You've come back from 9/11. You keep moving. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think a lot of this is going to be self-explanatory going forward. And, there's a lot of housekeeping to get in order. Mamdani's got a lot on his hands, a lot to do. So, and obviously the two governors. Prop 50 is just Prop 50. That's just settled territory for the time being. But there are going to be other seats going around coming up in the next year that we have to pay attention to. And judges. Lots of things, lots of work to do coming up. So we know that, don't we? I think we do. So let me go through some things today. As much as there's so much sunlight last night and today about this, that I'm going to sort of beat down on some other things. And to balance that out, because you can always get all giddy after this at 5 o'clock. So the world goes on. The world goes on in spite of all the good stuff in the past day, because this next year is just going to be more Trumpage, more, how can I combine Trump and garbage? I'll figure that out for old Trumpelstiltskin, Trump the Grump. I'll get some more terms for him. I'm being polite. But anyway, this is not polite. I'm holding this clip over from yesterday about disability for veterans because I think it's just so insidious and so subtle and just another one of these disgustingly small, subtle things that keeps, slipping through the cracks or seeping down the sewage line as they go forward, as he goes forward. So let me play this clip. And if you didn't see it yesterday, let's look at it now.
Benefits that will make access to those benefits significantly harder, according to new reporting from ProPublica. One change would be to update the job listings used to determine whether a worker has the skills to do another less strenuous job instead of receiving assistance. Another change would almost entirely remove age as a criteria for eligibility, putting the applications of older workers in the same pool as younger workers. If adopted in its current form, ProPublica reports that as many as 1.5 million Americans could lose eligibility over the next decade, and workers in Republican-led states will be hit the hardest. Joining us.
Sorry. Unbelievable. So red, blue, all of these states, it's just not about blue. It's about everybody. It's about red states are going to be really surprised this year, you guys, because it's not just happening in blue states. It's happening to your states too. So get ready, buckle up, because you will not be out of the woods with Mr. Trump. In any event, today, was there sunlight? Was there sunlight? Who knows? Who knows? Just working on something here. But the Supreme Court sort of split with the tariffs. They got into like licensing, license fees, some of the, Republican justices were sort of getting there, and some were not, of course, like Alito and, whatever. Not going to go on about that. I will play a little clip of what went on in case you missed it. But this could go on not a rocket docket, but, it could go pretty quick because it's such an enormous issue. And, there's also like getting money back and, all of that stuff. So there's a lot going on. Let me play this one and for you. So
for us again, the lower courts have consistently, as we said, ruled that the president overstepped with these tariffs. But based on what we heard, does it sound like the Supreme Court will follow suit or not?
Well, look, Chris, it's always perilous to intuit exactly what justices believe from their comments and questions, but even those of us who aren't constitutional scholars or even lawyers could hear from these arguments the deep skepticism, in the words of three of the conservative justices, Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, and Chief Justice Roberts. Amy Coney Barrett wrote a book in which she said that the rules of statutory interpretation are clear. Number one, read the statute. Number two, read the statute. And number three, read the statute. And she made that point very clearly today. This statute does not include the word tariff. And it was pretty clear that she was deeply skeptical about the idea that Donald Trump could essentially remake the tariff regime, citing these emergency powers. And Neil Gorsuch raised the prospect. He told John Sauer, the Solicitor General, that the implication of your argument is that a future president could declare a climate crisis and impose a 50% tariff on all imported gas-powered cars. And when I heard that, I thought to myself, does anyone think this conservative majority is going for the prospect of that
Crazy.
Someday with a Democratic president? So I think that's where we stand. It'll be interesting to see where the other three conservatives come down. Alito, Thomas, expressing some sympathy with the arguments of the Trump administration and getting into some nuances. But it's pretty clear that the Trump position on tariffs is in some trouble here.
Okay. So in any event, you got the idea there. So it's wavering, returning money perhaps might be somewhat simpler than you know, we're getting all the money back to people who have already started to spend money, more money than normal. You know what I mean? So, you know, because the importers are a set group of people that import, and they know what they imported, so that money could start getting back to them. But then, how does it, from the past few months, get back to us who have already bought products? I brought this up yesterday. I mean, this little recorder that I was calling the House of Representatives with, this is like $49, $50 a while back. Now it's 75. So that's shot up. And well, God knows what else, pots, pans, this, that, the other. So you guys know, about food, and you've been out there buying other goods. So that's going to be tricky. But if they can at least put a kibosh on it, that would be the best thing, at least in the immediate moment, just to slow down or stop him from going bananas all the time on whim after whim after whim, right? So they'll have to deal with everything from now going backwards. And then it's, when do they really get to this, and when do they bring the hammer down and just say, okay, stop until we figure this out. Stop fooling around with the tariffs and raising them or lowering them or whatever they're doing, right? So it's just, at least if they can get that going, that's better than nothing. Maybe that's a little sunlight, right? I'll try to bring that up today, because it's a bunch of clips here that I feel are worth going through, because I think we need to remind ourselves of things that are going to be going on all year. And I did start to talk about these wars, these differences that these countries around the world have been having. And Trump just goes with a broad brush like an idiot, and he's like, oh yeah, I solved everything. Oh, it's 7, 8 wars. First of all, they're not all wars. Some of them are disputes. Some of them started 10 years ago. Okay, so hello. You just can't be so simplistic. He's like, what? Oh, talking to the American populace, so I'll just be simplified? No, well, we're all not that's stupid. Be specific. Otherwise, you end up looking like the jackass, which you already are. So that's just what you're doing anyway. But here's like a little update about, and this is, not just me talking about it. This is going around the world here a little bit. So hang in there, and we shall go to, if you will, okay, to Cambodia and Thailand. They had agreed, it's been centuries old going on, Cambodia and Thailand, to a border that's been going up and down. They've already sort of had agreed to a ceasefire. Now it's, getting into trouble, so you can't just go with the magic wand there, jackass. And let me send you over to this clip. Second.
Should I get a lawyer for a minor?
A simmering border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia is casting a shadow over a summit of Southeast Asian leaders this weekend. Only months after clashes that left more than 40 people dead and forced mass evacuations, the two neighbors are again trading accusations over new border posts and land seizures. Mediators hope the summit can reinforce a fragile ceasefire. DW's Asia Pacific Bureau Chief Georg Mattis traveled to the...
Okay, well, look at that little map. A little far away on your screen, probably. But, right here, right below China. So they're dealing with it. Trump came in and, pushed his weight around. I mean, they're small countries. So they're going to go, okay, all right, big guy. I mean, if China came over and was like, let's put this to rest, I mean, they'd probably listen to China as well. So that's part of that equation with these countries. I mean, forget the Golden Crown from South Korea. Was ridiculous the other day. Almost unspeakable that they couldn't figure out how, we've been all joking about it, that kind of stuff here. We did the No King's March. It's like, suck up to Trump with a golden crown and then forget about millions and millions of people in this country. Okay. Well, they're gonna have to live that one down for a while. I'm sure they have heard all about it. And let's here's another again subtle stuff here. Kosovo and Serbia. Okay, that was, in process. Let's see, what did I write about that? Just bear with me. Normalization, a freeze on the problems they've been having here. But check out what is actually going on here. And I just have to read it. Oh, so sorry. I'm gonna back this up. I'm gonna back this up because you actually have to read it. And I'm in the way now. Sorry. U.S. halts talks. Sorry, that's that halts talks right here. Sorry, guys. Wish I could pull this around. I don't want to mess up the computer. I'll try to put this back. Sorry, guys. There you go. Wow, that was enough of that. Massacre of that clip. Sorry, don't mean to make light here, but so this is still a mess over there too. So, he goes over again. I'm just going to repeat myself. Everywhere he seems to go, he just drops his weight around, and I say that with obvious sarcasm. And then he leaves. Okay, and here is an interesting one in Congo, DRC, and Rwanda. So now things don't just stop. The M23 in Rwanda is really still in power, and well, it'll tell you on the clip in Eastern Congo. So let me go get it. Bear with me. Okay. Sorry.
Have become rulers. Millions of people now live under their control. It's a war Donald Trump claims to have ended.
The Congo, we settled the Congo.
No.
With Rwanda.
Idiot.
That was a machete war. That was a gruesome war.
You're a
Many
machete.
people, close to 10 million people killed. We got that settled.
But M23 say their fight is far from over.
Celui qui veut nous faire la guerre, eh bien qu'il vienne nous enterrer ici chez nous.
And civilians continue to pay the price.
Sina mpango wa kurudia nyuma. Vita ikingali sana.
So, there's the updates. There's not going to be any real updates about the balancing act and all. Yes, of course, there's diplomacy ongoing throughout the world that always needs to be attended to, but the sugarcoating and bullshitting these are examples. And notice how you don't really hear about stuff unless you look for it. It's like, wait, what about that? Or what happened in that country? Or what happened between those two? Even as big as Pakistan and India. I mean, come on, these are two nuclear empowered countries. And, so let's go to that, and let's hear what they have to say. Okay. So let Let me go to the PipCam first. I'm gonna try that. And there we go.
Pakistan has gone into a complete panic mode. Now, minutes before India's NOTAM, that is the Notice to Airman, gets activated, Pakistan has scrambled its fighter jets in fear. Pakistan has scrambled fighter jets from Shokorkot base, Rilaspur base and Milwani base. Early this morning, Pakistani fighter jets, we learn, have been scrambled and were in air for more than a couple of hours. Starting from 3:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. this morning, Indian Air Force will deploy its key assets, including Rafales, Sukhoi airborne early warning and control aircraft for exercise Maha-Gujaraj. Starting today ahead of India's war drills, Pakistan is now in complete panic mode. India's NOTAM has triggered the midnight frenzy. Pakistan fighters airborne from 3 bases.
Okay, so you can obviously see they're scrambling, and 2 nuclear countries. And look, I'm not going to say any more. I don't want to use the word panic, but they're obviously back and forth. But they're just very powerful countries, and did they bring this on themselves? Well, Trump comes in and he waves the stupid wand and he goes away again. So. Look, and then when he said to Zelensky, remember in the Oval Office, he's like, "Oh, you don't have the cards, you don't know what you're doing, whatever. So you'll create World War III." Okay, so if it were to start, it might be between nuclear powers. Okay, so Zelensky's not going to, they don't have nukes, so it's just, if you go forward and then you drop back and put all these pieces together, it's just like, you just I just keep nodding my head, maybe to sleep. I don't know, but let me look up. Let me look for the sunlight. It's got to still be shining somewhere around the globe, right? 24 hours. Here is something else, just about Iran, and let's face it. That is not a pretty picture by a long shot. And Iran is never going to give up on hating Israel forever. And likewise, probably, right? So they just hate each other. And just to chime in on with the Israel and then Gaza, I mean, that's also going to just percolate and keep going on and on. It's 3,000 years later, and it's going to be, maybe, another 3,000 years? I mean, I've looked at some footage of Gaza recently, and it's just all, think of like a construction site with just rubble, but for acres and miles, acres and miles. I mean, it's not just about rebuilding. It's about people's lives and their homes being shattered. So imagine if your neighborhood was shattered, right? And you had to rebuild. It's like, well, where's my old home, my old house? Okay, it's flat. It's like a concrete base. So we'll try to put up a new house, and all those memories are gone forever in that house or apartment and everywhere else throughout Gaza. So, needless to say, I think we all know what a mess it is. Bear with me for a second. Now here's something about Egypt and Ethiopia. Ethiopia has been working on a mega dam for 10 years for their country, hydroelectric dam, and that is going to give like 40% of people who had no power. And it's, from the dam, from the river that flows through and ends up being the Nile. Actually, I think starts in Ethiopia, like way up, the mountains, where some other tributaries also start up there, and then eventually Nile into the Mediterranean, right? So here is something. They are just opening it now. So, and Sudan's also right on the border of the Nile, so they're jumpy too, because they don't want to have the river, polluted or messed up. Obviously, Ethiopia is claiming it's going to be clean. Everyone has their claims. But let's see. They're just unveiling it now. So this is after 10 years. So as far as Trump and Ethiopia and Egypt, you know, does he talk about what it really was? That it was about a dam, that, you know, everyone's concerned about the water. Like, he doesn't even get into that's not even getting into the weeds about how that all pans out. I mean, imagine if we put a dam, right? Well, we do have a lot of dams in New York, I don't know, and California, right? Anywhere that's so close to somewhere where people really need the water. This is an obvious example of it. So, which Trump just doesn't even begin to talk about. So, with that said, get this going. And 1 second, we'll get right over to it. Who knows how that happens?
Now what am I going to do?
Just bear with.
With Connect Team, you'll ditch.
Okay.
Well, Africa's largest hydroelectric project, the Grand Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia, has been inaugurated. The dam is a massive engineering project that has been under construction for over a decade. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and regional leaders attended the inauguration ceremony. The dam is meant to double Ethiopia's electricity output and help supply power to millions. The dam has long been controversial, facing pushback from Ethiopia's neighbours along the Blue Nile River. It promises an energy revolution for the country, but for more than a decade it has also been a source of deep tensions with nearby Egypt and Sudan, which are downstream from Ethiopia, and fear the negative consequences from the mega dam.
Okay, so that's a pretty cool overhead shot there, right? Did Trump even bring this up? He's like, oh, war. You know, war between, you know, Ethiopia and Egypt and Sudan. Oh, it's all crazy. Oh, and I went over there in 2 minutes and I fixed it. It's like, it's so hard to listen to an asshole who's talking about basically nothing. You know, could he have said like, oh, well, I spoke, you know, with a CC in Egypt and, you know, and got Ethiopia got together and they're going to really promise to keep the water clean, not send down any, you know, pollutants or garbage. I mean, that's a big ask, obviously. Hopefully that'll occur. But, you know, these people are figuring out this dam and the river. This will unfold in the next year, and we'll see where that goes. But, you know, it's not like they were fighting with guns blazing. But this is what we just don't get from this president, okay? So we don't get really much into specifics with him, just glaring loudness. So let's try to pick it up a little bit. There are let's see if we can get a call going. I do this now, and I won't always do it, but I'll try to do it now. And I always talk about that you can find your Republican, of course, all of the House of Representatives, all the representatives, all 400, over 400 of them, and senators too. .gov. You can look it up. And so I have this now. You guys moving towards the east. I mean, I'm doing this so late because I want to do it live. I did make calls the other day, early in the morning for me, because it's later going the further east you go. But obviously, time zones. And so, but it's only 4:30 about, and I'm going to I'm just going to finish up this list and just wipe through this last one. Republican Representative Doug LaMalfa, 1st District in California. So I'm just trying to see if he picks up the phone. Now, of course, the government, quote unquote, is shut down. Some of the assistants have been in this week. It's not election day right now. So let's see if he picks up. All right. And so this is the moment that I don't have my phone. But isn't that funny? Bear with me, guys. It's hiding back here. And didn't know if I was going to call this one today, but I will do that. Okay. So let's get this up. And I'm going to put this on speakerphone too. And okay. I know this is taking a minute. Should have had this ready for you guys. Sorry. Let's see. The number is 2202. 225 3076. 3076. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for calling the office of Congressman Doug LaMalfa of California's 1st District. Please feel free to leave your name, number, and a message, and we will return your call as soon as possible. Have a great day.
I'm going to read my script. Yes, dear Congressman LaMalfa, this is Steve. Well, you've gotten away with your tax breaks for your cronies, but you need to extend the health care subsidies. It's still sitting there. You all know that. You need to do it now. And now you're killing SNAP on everybody. That's in a shambles. So this is not open up the government first and then let the healthcare subsidies die in committees and diversion tactics. No, it's make it real deal first and at least tacitly and publicly agree to extend them. And then just open up the government back up where you already control the House, Senate, and the White House. This is not a forever game where Lucy keeps pulling the football away from Charlie Brown at the last minute. No. Agree to extending the subsidies first so there will be no more games, sir. Thank you. All right. Well, enough getting to my phone. It'll be a lot easier at your place to get the phone because you'll just have your phone. You won't have to dig for it live on air. In any event, this year coming up is all of these things I've been sort of bringing up today. You know, God bless Blue yesterday and today going forward. What a signal that sends. You could see, I saw one clip today of Trump, the grump, being grumpy because he knew that he got wiped out. And that, good. It's about time he starts getting, punched around, fat ass. But that doesn't mean that everything that's despicable about things with him is not going to continue to drizzle forward, right? We have to constantly remember that. This stuff, all of these weird, all of these disagreements throughout the world, some ongoing wars, others that are about to crack or not, obviously diplomacy is key and that has to keep being pushed. But all the other things and the things that are happening in our country right here, these are all things that are going to keep pushing, right up to the midterms. And they're going to dribble on beyond the midterms, but there's just no question that the midterms we have to gain control. It'd be really nice if we could sweep the House and, of course, the Senate. Then his dark days would be real close at that point. So basically, some other bad news, more chaos. It's all about chaos, right? With this president. So now they're talking about if they can't get the government open back up, get that tacit agreement from the Republicans, that 40 airports might be shut down on Friday. Okay, so yikes. Not 1, not 2, not 10, not 20, 40. So that's potentially what's going on. Now, today's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, guys. So tomorrow, something going to happen magically. There's a bipartisan little twitch going on right now that might get some light on it about trying to get to the healthcare subsidies. But tomorrow's Thursday. Today's already over pretty much. And of course, they can work through the night if anybody shows up and gets off their asses and gets done with their vacations and comes back and works like a real person. And maybe Friday they can halt the 40 airports. Maybe there's just a few, but hopefully none. That would be sunlight. So, I mean, this sort of gets to the end of things. Oh, well, something intriguingly weird. Nancy Mace, you might have seen her in a bunch of clips and stuff. Pretty little Nancy Mace. I don't know. Nobody really knows what's wrong with her, except maybe close friends and family. But, she's been acting really weird, and she cursed out some TSA people the other day. And she's been mad about, crazed, like crazy. So God forbid she has to ship out for whatever reason, go get some help, get some serious psychological attention. Now then her seat would open up. Interesting, right? So then there's another seat. So good luck to her. Maybe she can get some sunlight in her personal life. But then I would say if she leaves her seat, this is only an if, then sunlight would hopefully open up for that seat. That could be yet another seat. So that's a dark thing that could bring some benefits. There is this report of the last Israeli American, the remains of the last Israeli American, at least as far as for us, the American side of things go, has been returned. So all the Israeli American people and remains have now been figured out. So what a sort of an odd place to leave things today, because it's depressing, but those families are grateful even for the remains, so and listen, I always encourage you guys to send me emails and come up with ideas and things during the day or the night that you run into. And so we have tomorrow and Friday, and I do want to get into a few more things at the end of this week about getting out and getting out in the field, because I am in here 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. And I'm going to start to get out and talk to MAGA people, hopefully next week. So, give me some feed on that, okay? Because I'm already coming up with questions that I'm going to stump them with. Just obvious stuff. But if they're not focused, they're not going to have good answers. And I've talked to some of them before, but I want to get them with a release form, and I want to get them on tape, going, oh, because the more people that go, oh, to these obvious things, then it won't just be spoon feeding and them just eating a bunch of false garbage. All right. So, and I encourage anybody who wants to get on the crew and come out in the field, or if you want to come in the office here, that's great too, and help out here. I'm engineering this all by myself right now. It's my second week. So I hope you guys have been so far enjoying what you're at least, seeing and hearing as far as balancing it and being truthful as hell as possible. I mean, clips are right here. And, it's obvious what's going on around the world and right in front of us all the time. But at least we had a great night last night. And I'll leave you guys on that note. A little short today. I'm sure everybody's a little tired from last night, staying up, watching the results and everything. And we got them. So let's send good luck to all of those guys going forward. They could do their best. And, New Jersey, get those electric prices down, so on and so forth. And Mamdani has to do, 9 things. If he can do 3 or 4 or 5 really great things, that'll be great. And Abigail in Virginia, that's just fantastic. So she'll be working on her issues in that state as well. So good luck to all of them coming up in the next number of months. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific, and I hope you guys have a great night. A little short today, but it's been a big night. I was up so late. So I hope you're doing well with all of that news, and I hope you do well tonight, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. Sunlight on Chaos is saying good night, and see you tomorrow. Okay. Thanks. Bye.